welcome to Push Your Luck video. My name is Eric, and today we'll be looking at Joraku. This is a 2015 release, designer Yuri Tsukinami, and this is published by Moaideas Game Design. So the designer is a Japanese designer, and this is his first design. And Moaideas Game Design is actually a Taiwanese publishing company. So it is interesting that they are working together to bring you Joraku. So Joraku is a 3 to 4 player game. Plays about 30 to 60 minutes. I think it is dependent on how fast you play the game or whether there's APing or not. Analysis paralysis, AP. So it is an area control game, and it is a pretty neat, very elegant area control game with a bit of trick taking to it. So let's take a look at what you get in the game components, how to play the game, and my thoughts about the game. Alright, so this is what you get in a game of Joraku. So this you get a main board. Alright, it's not a very big board, but it did warp a bit when it comes, so it doesn't really lie flat. So you need to take note of that. But the board quality is very nice. You also get a lot of wooden cubes. So each player will get a 10 wooden cubes. These are your samurai. They will indicate 1 unit of army strength. They'll also get 2 of these daimyo. Alright, or I will call them shogun in this case because it's easier to pronounce. So they will count as 2 army strength. In addition, they will also give you certain abilities that you can do during your turn, depending on where the location they are. The other one will be at a score track there, so it will start from 0. So you'll see that the score track is around the board. The board is also distributed into 7 different spaces. So Kyoto will have no number, but the rest of them have 1 to 6. There will also be some scoring marks here indicated by whichever round it is. Then there will be certain different number of scorings. So the game will last 3 rounds. There will also each player will also be given one of these leader cards right at the beginning, which will indicate your start location. So other than your start location, the rest of the content on the card is just fluff. Alright, which is the art is also quite good. You can see that the art is very distinctive. Each of the different leaders have different looking art. Alright, but the most important thing is the numbers that they have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There will also be one Kachidoki card. Alright, so this is to indicate whoever has won a skirmish for that particular round, which I'll explain later in the game. Lastly, there will be a set of cards. So there will be a few different suits. Alright, and each suit will have a number of cards each. Alright, so this will be where the main play of this is the trick taking of the game, and this is where most of the action will come depending on what card you play during your turn. So all in all, for first time designer and this is a relatively new publisher, it is quite good components. So let's go into how you play the game. So the game lasts for 3 rounds. At the end of 3 rounds, whoever has the most points will win the game. So how do you get points? Points is depending on area control. So you see that each region has a different way of scoring. Some regions in later rounds, alright, after 3 rounds, the game only lasts 3 rounds. So in later rounds, there will not be any scoring regardless of how many units you have there. So you'll see that, for example, if I have an area majority in Shinano, alright, in the first round I'll get 7 points. If I'm second, I'll get 4 points. If I'm third, I'll get 2 points. In round 2 and round 3, being majority here will not give you any points at all. So that's one way of scoring. So all these will score. You'll see that the points actually will increase as you go closer to Kyoto. So for example, in Kyoto, right, the first round you score nothing, but near the end you score 15, 10, and 5. The other way of scoring is also if you win skirmishes. So if you win skirmishes, if you have a majority in the location where your shogun is, or your boss is, then you will score points depending on what kind of majority you have. So if you have area majority in the location where your boss is, you get 3 points. If you're second, you get 2 points. If you're third, you get 1 point. So this is also another way of scoring. So it's all pretty clear cut. So how do you play the game? Now at the start of each game, each player will be dealt randomly one of these leader cards, and then that's where you'll put your shogun there. Alright, so let's say if I was given 6, I'll put my shogun here if I'm yellow. Alright, then after that, this stack of cards will be shuffled. The trick-taking cards will be shuffled, the black bags will be shuffled, and each player will be given 5 cards. So in a 4-player game, each player will be given 5 cards. In a 3-player game, there will be a different number of cards. So after you shuffle and each player gets 5 cards, Then you do a small drafting action. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You look at your 5 cards. You choose 2 cards, all right, and then you pass it to your left. Always to your left. In a game, there's no left, right, left. It's always to your left. So after you've done that, then whoever has the largest number for at the start of the game, whoever has largest number will go first. So whoever has largest number will take this card, indicate that you're a leader, and you go first. Next, you'll be playing 1 card. So the leader will choose 1 card from the hand, and you play a card. So let's say I play this. Let's say I play the katana card. Right, this is katana. So I play a katana card down. Now the card you play will indicate what suit the other players need to play. So if I play a katana card, following the active player, the next player must also play a katana card if he has one. If they do not have a katana card, then they can play any other card they want. The number also will indicate 2 things to me. I can then, once I play any card, I'll now do the action. The action can be, if it's a normal card, right, can be either I will take 0 to 3 cubes of my own and put it where the number I played indicated. So for example, in this case, if I played a katana 2, I can now take 0 to 3 of my samurai cubes, and then put it at the area 2 here. So there's 2, I'll put it here. Alright, the numbers run from 1 to 6. So you cannot directly put into Kyoto in this case. The other thing I can choose to do, is I can change this into action points. Alright, and then action points allow me to do some things. So playing a 2 card will give me 2 action points, and I can do a variety of things. One of the things I can do is I can move my shogun to an adjacent space. This will cost 2 action points. I can also move my samurai, these are cubes, into an adjacent space. So each samurai I move is 1 action point. Last thing I can do is I can kill off opponent samurai cubes that are in the area where my shogun is. Alright, that will cost 1 action point as well. So again, 2 action points to move my shogun to adjacent space, 1 action point to move my samurai adjacent space, 1 action point to kill any opponent samurai that is in the space where my shogun is. Alright, the killed samurai just goes back to the opponent's reserve area. Alright, so these are the things that you can do when you play a card. The interesting thing about this is that there's a ninja card. So you see that this is a ninja card, right? So what happens is that if you play a ninja card, you can now take 0 to 3 cubes and put it anywhere that you want, and you can split it out if you want. So I can put like 1, 1, 1, or I can put like 1, 1, 1. So this is the only time using the ninja, all right, that you can directly put into Kyoto. Right, if you want to go move into Kyoto, you need to actually use action points to move it into Kyoto. So after every player has played 1 card, then you see who has the highest number. Alright, the highest number will win this skirmish. So this is the skirmish phase when you play a card. Whoever has the highest number will win the skirmish. When you win the skirmish, you pass this card to that player, and then that player will check where his shogun is, and will check whether there's a majority, and what points that only that player will get. Alright, even if your opponent has a majority there, the opponent will not get any points. Only whoever has won the skirmish will get the score points. If, however, the highest number is 6, and a ninja was played. Alright, so if 6 was played, regardless of the suit, let's say a 6 was played and a ninja was played, ninja will always beat the 6, and so the player who played ninja will win in this case. Alright, now if there's a tie, let's say there's a tie for highest number. So let's say there was let me see if I can get a tie here. If you played 4, let's say a player played 4, and then another player played 4. So the last player who played the highest number, right, will win the skirmish. Alright, if there's a tie like ninja, one player plays ninja, the last player plays ninja, the last player who played a ninja will win the skirmish. Alright, so this continues until you have played all 5 cards from your hand. Alright, that will be the end of 1 round. Then you do an end of round scoring, where you go through each region, going from 6 all the way to Kyoto, and then you score for majority. Whoever has the most majority will score like 7 points, 4 points, and 2 points, as I indicated previously. And also, if there's a tie, then all tied players will score the next lowest rank. So let's say we are all tied for first, we will score 4 points each in this case. Alright, so you do all this scoring. After you're all done, take all the cards that you played, shuffle. Alright, now we are at round 2. Take all the cards you played, shuffle, and then you give out the 5 cards again. Whoever has last gotten the leader card will always start in the next skirmish round. Alright, and yeah, so you keep going this until the end of the round. Then you see whoever has the most points, right, will win the game. So that is Joraku. So let's go to my thoughts about the game. Alright, so what I think of Joraku, I really like it. It is a very elegant, very neat little area control game. It is easy to learn. The trick taking part might be a bit weird in the beginning, because most of the time when you play a trick taking card, you must play the same suit as the person who led the trick. And then most of the time when you play other cards that do not follow the same suit, you will not get anything. But in this case, following the suit is just a means of actually flushing out cards that you know your opponents have. For example, it's just a means to try to get opponents to get rid of the cards, or get them to play cards that they may not have wanted to in the beginning. At the same time, winning a trick means that you're a leader for next skirmish round, and that might not be good depending on how you play the game. So there are a lot of little subtle strategies in the game, and it will take multiple plays for you to discover them. The number of cards in the deck is not so much, so you can actually count as well. You can kind of figure out who has what cards depending on what cards you gave and what cards you received at the initial drafting phase. So that's quite cool. There's a little bit of information that you can work off on. You also know your own cards, of course. But for a 4-player game, for example, there will be one card that will be out of the game. So you can roughly count what other players have and kind of anticipate what they have and what cards to play. The ninja element is very interesting as well, because more often than not, people will be playing ninjas to counter whoever plays 6. And having if you manage to play a 6 and you get a 6, is quite a lot of action points. You can do a lot of things. So while at the beginning, you may be thinking that, oh, all these number cards is just for me to put cubes onto those specific locations. Later on, they are quite important, because in the initial part, putting at the 1, 2, and 3 areas doesn't give you a lot of points. If you look at the area control scoring, the first round and second round, the locations which are lower number and nearer to Kyoto don't really give you a lot of points. But in the final round, for example, getting to Kyoto is very important, because it gives you a lot of points. But the cards that allow you to get into those are probably only allow you to put cubes specifically there, because 1 AP, 2 AP, 2 action points doesn't really give you a lot of things to do. So it is a very good mix of good movement of when you move from one part of the map to the other part of the map. It's very interesting, because it kind of changes narrative along the way. Like, I'm moving now, we're all clans in Japan, and we're all fighting over this particular region now, and later on we are moving towards Kyoto. So it is silly if you end up staying in the number 6 region, which is the Shinano, because it doesn't give you any points later on. So you would try desperately to move your samurais and your shogun all the way towards Kyoto, and that's where the fighting will begin. Having the action points is a good juicy bit as well, because then I can decide, oh, I can move my shogun into your area, and then I start to kill off your samurais there to gain majority myself. So it is a good tussle, a good fight between always fighting amongst ourselves to get area control, so that we can then get points when the scoring comes about. So I really like this game. Very nice, very neatly, very elegantly designed, and it doesn't play too long. It plays about 30 minutes or so, but I guess if you are going to sit down there and ponder and analyze, and then it might take a bit of time. But with only 5 cards in your hand, there's not that much thinking that you need to do to stall the game that will make the game last over too long. So it doesn't overstay its welcome, and I really like the game. So I hardly recommend this game. So if you like area control, if you like a quick area control with a bit of trick taking and definitely a lot of depth to the game, alright, I'll recommend Joraku. So once again, thanks to Moaideas Games for this review copy. Thanks to Smoox Chen for hooking me up with this review copy. And thanks for watching!